Hey there, graders. Welcome back. I missed you so much. I hope that everybody had a wonderful Easter, spent lots of time outside enjoying this gorgeous weather, and had a good time with your family. Okay? Especially, I hope everyone enjoyed being off from doing schoolwork. Okay? I know I did. I know my kids did. All right, let's get our Voyages workout. I wanted to kind of just give you a heads up. So this week, normally we are working from the Voyages textbook every day or at least 3 or 4 times during the week, but we're only going to do it 2 days this week from your Voyages textbook, and that is because your exercises require you to write the sentences, okay? And I know how much y'all love that. So I'm trying to kind of cut back on some of that and spread it out over the next couple of weeks so you're not having to write as many sentences. So just kind of bear with me. And I know writing sentences, it's a lot of words and you don't always like to do it, but go ahead and do it. And the reason being is because we are trying to figure out how to use commas correctly, okay? So we need to write the entire sentence in order to see where the comma placement is necessary and required. Okay, so let's open up our Voyages textbook, please, to pages 168 and 169. All right, so here we go. I missed y'all. By the way, Finney is doing fine. He's still alive and kicking, all right? He misses y'all. Okay, let's look at page 168. So we're in our Voyages textbook on page 168. This is commas in a series, okay? So if you have more than 2 things that you're talking about, that's called a series. So if I say I like basketball and football, then I would just use and. Do you like enchiladas or burritos? Okay, that's 2 things. So I'm just using like a conjunction there, and or I'm not having to use any commas. But when you have more than 2, when you have 3 or more, you need to put commas there, okay, to separate, to note, to let your reader know that there's a little a second that you wait before you send to the next thing. So I'm going to use my vegetable garden, all right? So over the holidays, we planted a vegetable garden. So if I wanted to write a sentence about my vegetable garden, I would say, in my vegetable garden, I planted tomatoes, comma, cucumbers, comma, squash, comma, zucchini, comma, bell peppers, comma, and hot peppers. Period. Okay? So I was sure to put a comma after every vegetable that we planted, okay, to let you know that those were different items in the series, okay? And then before your last one, you would put, like I said at the end, bell peppers, comma, and hot peppers. And then we'll add in our conjunction to title and an end with a period, okay? So let's look at page 168 here. So it says commas separate words or groups of words, so it's easier to read, all right? So your reader knows to take a short pause after each comma. 3 or more words or groups of words are called a series, and that's when we'll be using commas. So let's take a look at the examples that they have here, okay? I play football, comma, soccer, comma, and baseball. That was 3 items, so we needed to use the commas, okay? If it was only 2, you wouldn't need commas. You would say, I like softball and baseball, period, okay? So let's look at the next example. I hit, comma, pitch, comma, and catch for my baseball team, period. Next, ping, comma, Anna, comma, or Carl will bring the soccer ball. So as you can see, we can use the word and, we can use the word or, so it's not just using and, okay? It's different words, but again, if it's 3 or more, you're gonna use commas in that word series. All right, last example that they have, I will play midfielder, comma, forward, comma, or goalie, period. Okay, so let's look at the examples here. It says, which sentence uses commas in a series correctly? So let's look at A. We need helmets, comma, footballs, comma, and uniforms, period. B. We need helmets, footballs, and uniforms. There's no punctuation there. That's wrong. C. We need helmets, comma, footballs, and uniforms. Okay, that one's wrong because it needed a comma after footballs. So go back up to A. Let's look at A and read that one again. We need helmets, comma, footballs, comma, and uniforms, period. That is your correct answer, okay? Go down to the next little area. Which sentences uses commas in a series correctly? A, I am bringing balloons, candles, and streamers to the party. There was no punctuation there, so that one's wrong. B, we still need to buy cake, comma, ice cream, comma, and milk, period. That one looks right. Okay, let's look at C. Don't forget the wrapping paper, comma, bows, comma, and ribbons, period. That one looks right too. All right, so in the series we had comma, comma, and then the other. So B and C are both correct. Let's look at an example from your exercises here. Okay, so exercise 1. Rewrite the word groups. Use commas to separate the words in a series. Okay, so this is not a complete sentence, but you are rewriting the word group. Okay, so number 1, you've got quarterbacks, mascots, and fans. So that's 3 items in a series. So on your paper, you would write, and if you want to pause to do it yourself and then hit play again and see if we have the correct answer, okay, you can do that. That would be a really good idea. Okay, so number 1, quarterbacks, comma, mascots, comma, and fans. Okay, that is how you would write that series. All right, and then you have, let's see, a few more on this page and the next page. I'll do another one with you. All right, let's look at number 2. They've got referees, coaches, and players. So for number 2, we would write referees, comma, coaches, comma, and players. Okay, you don't need a period at the end of that because it's not a complete sentence. Anyway, it's just a word series. So go ahead and finish that exercise. Let's look at exercise 2. Rewrite the sentences. Yes, rewrite the sentences, okay? Rewrite the sentences and put commas in each sentence to separate the words in a series. So let's look at number 1. All right. Olympic Games were held in Beijing, Athens, and Sydney. All right. Those are 3 different cities. So we are going to say Olympic Games were held in Beijing, comma, Athens, comma, and Sydney, period. All right, so that is using correct punctuation with your commas there. You will finish doing the rest. I'm going to do one more with you though, okay? Let's read the sentence. And again, I really like it, or I think it's a good idea if after we're going over them, you kind of pause them and you try and answer it and then press play to find out what the answer is to see if you understand the concept, okay? So let's go with number 2. We watched swimming, track, and gymnastics. So these are 3 different activities. So we would write, we watched swimming, comma, track, comma, and gymnastics, period. All right, so that is the answer to that one. Let us look at exercise 3. This is going to be fun because I'm going to get to kind of know a little bit about you because you are going to complete each sentence with at least 3 words in the series, and you are going to use commas, okay, to separate, of course, and then periods at the end. But these are things about you, okay? So number 1, it says, my favorite sports are blah, blah, blah. Now, you have to have at least 3. It can't be 2. And I mean, if you want to list 10, then you can, but that's just more writing, okay? Really, if I were you and I were a 3rd grader, I would just write 3, all right? But it is up to you. But you do need at least 3 because that's the skill that we're going over. Commas in a series, okay? So, my favorite sports are A, comma, B, comma, and C, period. All right, number 2, some famous athletes are. So maybe some of your favorite athletes you can put in here. Number 3, I like to play 1, 2, 3 activities. Number 4, at recess, 1, 2, 3 activities, okay? And I'll be curious to read some of these that you guys have. All right, so finish exercise 3 there. All right, the next thing that we're going to be doing is workbook page 110. So if you need to pause the video right now to open up your Voyages workbook, go ahead and do so and then get back with me. Okay, so 110, again, just like always, we are just reinforcing the skills that we just learned in the textbook right here on the workbook. So let's look at 110. So commas in a series. Again, 3 or more words or groups of words in a series need to have commas to separate it. Okay, so let's look at exercise 1. Fortunately, you don't have to write anything in exercise 1, okay? All you're going to do is add the commas. So that's a score. All right, let's look at number 1. Add commas to separate the words in each series. So number 1, tulips, daisies, and sunflowers. Those are 3 types of flowers. So on your paper, all you have to do is write wherever the commas belong. So you'll put after tulips, so your word series will say tulips, comma, daisies, comma, and sunflowers. So you'll add 2 commas there, all right? And do the rest. Let us look at the next sentence. Rewrite each sentence. Add commas to separate the words in a series. So these, you do have to rewrite the sentences, okay? So go ahead, rewrite the sentences, and then add the commas where needed. So let us look at number 8. It says, we picked apples, peaches, and plums. So on your paper, you will write the complete sentence, and don't forget to use capitalization also, okay? So we picked apples, comma, peaches, comma, and plums, period. All right, that is how you will write it. So, okay, I hope you understand. If not, just rewind and watch the video again, okay? Let us see what is next. What is next is our practice book. Okay, so get with me on your Wonders practice book, please. And we are going to look at page 84. All right, 84. 84 is talking about prefixes. So those are words that go in front, okay? Think of about a preview. If you're watching a movie, you're seeing a preview. Your preview comes before your movie, okay? So, or a pre-game, right? Okay, so it goes before. Prefix is the same thing, all right? It goes before. So a prefix is a word part that you add to the beginning of a word. It changes the meaning of the word. Like, let's say happy, okay? I'm so happy. If I added a prefix, the prefix un, that would be unhappy. That would completely change the meaning of the word, right? Okay, so let's see. You can use prefixes to figure out the meaning of the word. So re, is to do again. So if you enter somewhere, like entry, okay? So that's the entry. Now, if I re-enter something, let's say I enter the building. I entered the building, that means I went in there. Okay, I went in there one time. But what if I say I re-entered the building again yesterday, right? That means I did it again. Another one is dis. That means not or the opposite. So I appear. I just appeared out of nowhere, right? And here I was right in front of you on your video camera on YouTube after a whole week. I missed y'all so much. Okay, so anyway, so here we are appearing again, right? But if we disappear, then that's the opposite of appear. Then that means that, we can't see each other anymore. I don't see you, or you don't see me. So that's the opposite. And then un also means not or opposite, okay? So if I want to say something is fair, the game, everybody played, oh my gosh, it was such fair. Everybody had the same amount of home runs. I don't know, whatever. But if we want to say the opposite and say, oh my goodness, that was so unfair. I didn't get to bat and everybody else got to bat 3 times and I didn't get to bat. So I'm now saying that something is unfair, so it's not fair. It's the opposite of being fair. Okay, so with that being said, you have 5 examples here. And it says to study the box above, which we just did. So again, let's follow all directions. So it says, underline the word in each sentence that contains a prefix. So you're going to underline the word that has a prefix. Using the prefix and the context, and the context clues in your sentence, try and figure out the word's meaning. Write the meaning on the line. No, you do not need to use dictionary. You do not need to have a sophisticated definition of the word. Just in your own personal words, what does it mean? Let's look at number 1. My dog does not like the snow. So it was unusual to see him playing in it this winter. So the first thing I'm going to do is underline the word unusual, because that's the word that has a prefix. All right? So my dog does not like the snow. So it was so unusual to see him playing. So that's something out of the ordinary. It's something that's not usual. Okay? If I were a 3rd grader in that line, I would write not usual. That's your answer. Okay? So that's all we have to do there. Okay? Just finish those other 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're done with that. Let's look at our religion book. Again, if you need to pause the video to get your religion book, go ahead and do so at this time. Otherwise, go ahead and open up to page 237 and 238. Okay? Before we went on Easter holiday or spring break, we were talking about Lent, which is the season that we were in. All right. And then, of course, we just had Easter. We had Holy Week and Easter, right? And then we just had some time off after that. So this is going to be going over Easter, which I'm sure y'all already know about. So this should be an easy peasy week for you guys, okay? So what you are going to do is read page 237, which is just the title page, okay? And then you'll read page 238. And then that's it, okay? Y'all have a great day. See you tomorrow. Bye.